Integrating quotes. What does that mean? When you write a paper, you often have to include textual support, quotes. If you stick them in the middle of a paragraph, you end up with an awkward explanation, such as the sentence below. Hamlet says, "To be or not to be." This quote means that he is debating whether or not to kill himself. By integrating, combining the quote with the explanation, you end up with a much cleaner sentence. Hamlet debates whether to be or not to be, revealing his confusion over whether to kill himself or not. Notice in the second sentence, you don't hear the quote coming. You don't have phrases such as, "this quote means." It's a simple three-step process. 1. Choose a quote. 2. Explain the quote's importance. 3. Combine your explanation with the key part of the original quote. Step 1. Choose a quote. We're going to be using Hamlet's to be or not to be soliloquy as fodder for our sentences. Step 2. Explain the quote's importance. For this portion, I'm going to use the following quote from the middle of the passage. Hamlet says, "By a sleep to say we end, the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to." My explanation. Hamlet thinks that death will end the issues he's dealing with, rescuing him from his misery. Step 3. Combine your explanation with the key part of the original quote. This is the key. Again, my quote. "By a sleep to say we end, the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to." My explanation from the previous slide. Hamlet thinks that death will end the issues he's dealing with, rescuing him from his misery. And now I'm going to combine the two. You notice in black are the words that I've kept from my explanation. Hamlet thinks that death will ... rescuing him from his misery. The blue is the key part of the quote that I chose. "End the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to." The whole sentence reads, Hamlet thinks that death will end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to, rescuing him from his misery. Notice again, you don't hear the quote coming. I have replaced the very vague part of the sentence that says, "end the issues he's dealing with." This quote makes the sentence much more specific. Still not sure you know what's going on? Let's try it again. This time I'm going to use the quote, "'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished." My explanation, Hamlet thinks that death will be a positive release from his issues, such as his father's death and losing the throne. Here's one's choice for the integrated quote. Hamlet thinks that death, 'tis a consummation, and will be a positive to release from his issues. This isn't a very clear sentence, and it's kind of an awkward integration, so let's try a different part of that quote. Hamlet thinks that death is devoutly to be wished because it will release him from his issues. As I said in the prior slide, choosing the right part of the quote is all the difference. Your turn. Go to the Integrating Quotes assignment. You will be using the same monologue from Hamlet as material for your integrated quotes. Upload the completed assignment.